Former President Trump speaking right now in the speech coming off the heels of former president winning this afternoon's straw poll. Today, Trump supporters said that he is the GOP frontrunner ahead of next year's presidential primaries. Take a look. Trump got a decisive 62% in the traditional poll. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis was second with 20% of the vote. For context, former President Trump won last year's straw poll with 59% support. NewsNation correspondent Joe Khalil joining us live from the conference now. Joe, what else are we learning tonight?
Yeah, well, I mean, as you just saw, Natasha, he just got off the stage here, what is a very friendly environment for former President Trump at CPAC, in many ways really remaking the convention itself in his image. And it was sort of two different speeches, I thought. At the end, as our viewers were hearing live, it was some of the greatest hits, if you will. At the beginning, it did sound a bit more like laying the groundwork more for his 2024 campaign, messages that we may expect to hear as he takes that message on the road in the next couple of months and into the next election year as well. Talked about his record in the White House, certainly talked about all of the legal cases that he is facing now, also talked about the 2020 election a bit. But I want to give you just a bit of how he sort of framed the larger picture, because it did sound like a campaign bit. Here was that.
In 2016, I declared, I am your voice. Today, I add, I am your warrior. I am your justice. And for those who have been wronged and betrayed, I am your retribution. I am your retribution. Not going to let this happen. Not going to let it happen. I will totally obliterate the deep state. I will fire.
And he did also, not surprisingly, take a couple of shots at the Biden administration as well, Natasha, mostly for foreign policy and for the way, in his view, he says that the U.S. is being taken advantage of by spending money in Ukraine on that war. Now, we should mention that there are certainly many within his own party that don't share that view. And also on the Democratic side, a lot of people hold up the Biden administration's response to Ukraine as so far successful. But clearly, former President Trump, not feeling that way. So here's how he described his issues with this.
We put up the money, and then after it's finished, assuming it's successful, let's say it's successful, they don't want to even talk to us. No, you have nothing to do with us. Get out of here. You have nothing. No. In business, you put up money, seed money, call it whatever you want. You end up owning the country by the time it's over. And the only reason they're doing well is we're giving them the greatest equipment that I bought, the greatest equipment ever made.
And Natasha, one of the highlights coming out of the event every year is that straw poll you mentioned. So we're going to put it back up on your screen here. Former President Trump still clearly the front runner, especially with this crowd, which again is sort of more tailored to his style of politics. 62% there. Ron DeSantis coming in 20%, and Nikki Haley, the other candidate you probably heard of, in fourth place with 3% of that, Natasha.
Well, and Joe, I want to ask, Trump not seeming to mention anyone specifically by name, in particular, many watching if he would reference Ron DeSantis. And meanwhile, DeSantis skipped CPAC altogether.
I was surprised. I thought he was going to name a couple of people. He did not. There was sort of a veiled reference. Once or twice, he talked about how there are some Republicans that support ending Medicare and Medicaid. And he said, I'm not going to say who that is, but that may have been a reference to Governor Ron DeSantis, who in Congress voted that way. So he not actually naming any of his Republican opponents. I think that was a bit of a surprise. Ron DeSantis not here, along with Vice President Mike Pence. A number of others who are likely contenders are in Florida right now for a separate event. It was notable that they were not here at CPAC, and it shows you sort of the shift of how CPAC itself has changed, Natasha.
Yeah, I appreciate that context. Joe Khalil live for us at the conference tonight. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.